Welcome back to brain lesson number 2. This is known as action versus reaction. Once again, to remind you, this is based on the whole brain power workshops that I used to deliver in the past, which I no longer do, where for business leaders, CEOs, career development, and mainly personal development. Our life is generally difficult. People go through various types of suffering, and the main thing is to understand how the brain works and to apply that knowledge in your personal life. So please, any of these lessons, main thing is apply the knowledge. In this one here, very briefly, action versus reaction. We all face, this is something that aggravates you, and this is how you're going to respond to that aggravation. Maybe it's your friend or your parents or the husband or the wife or your children or someone. Action means something happens in your life, and the reaction means how you're going to respond to that person. Now, the response to that person, these are known as triggers. The people who know you well, they know which are your hot spots, what's going to irritate you, what is going to calm you down. The things that irritate you are known as your triggers. Now, the main thing is, the more you know, if you're going to nag a person, do this, do this, do this. Now, this gap here, this arrow is a gap. That is the key to personal success and personal development. And that means that you must try and increase the gap. Many times what happens, someone is nagging you, this gap becomes very narrow, and we say, no, stop it. You see, you get triggered. Someone says something, immediately you react. It's like an allergic reaction, like some people are allergic to shellfish, so you get a reaction immediately. So the key to this is to try and increase the gap. And the way you increase the gap, when someone irritates you or says something that you don't like, maybe they insulted you or said something that was not true, the main thing there is, before you react, pull yourself out of the situation and pause and decide what you're going to do. So you must have that gap. And I know it's difficult. Sometimes we want to react immediately. We get angry. Never make a decision when you are angry. This is the rule. Islam also teaches us, if a judge is angry, he cannot make a decision. In Islam, if a judge is angry, don't make a decision. So whenever you get angry, if someone irritates you or humiliates you or shames you or talks a lie about you or betrays you, always increase this gap. Talk to someone. Increase the gap, think about it, and then decide how you're going to respond. So action, reaction, our natural reaction is to respond immediately. But the lesson for today, and that is how we break the chains around our brains. Let not people put toxins in our brains. We must be in charge of our brains. We must be in charge of our reaction. We must be in charge of how we're going to respond to other people. Sometimes they say silence is the best reply to a fool, right? But then it depends on each person, how they're going to harm you, how they're going to irritate you. But don't do some things. The R also stands for regret. So the response must not be a regretful response. Always increase this gap. Thank you. Stay well and stay tuned for the next lesson on the human brain. And remember, reading is vitamin tonic for the brain. Stay well.